What it's going to do when we're done, once it pans past the ship, it's going to go into the flare, and then it's going to pass the flare, and that's where David's going to put Cirrus coming by.
Oh, okay.
And he's going to do a shot where it pans as Cirrus goes towards the Earth, and then reveal the Earth.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
From a visual effects point of view, some of the really interesting things we accomplished in Apocalypse Kiss is that, you know, there's the typical matte paintings here, matte paintings there that you'll see in any other movie, but what we did that was fun for me was we combined some CGI visual effects with models at the same time. And there are certain scenes where you'll probably look at it and not even realize that there's that happy marriage between the two. And it's important for Christian in this film to have that certain look that has a little bit of a retro feel, but a modern aesthetic.
My name is Lloyd Kaufman. I have the privilege of playing the President of the United States and the Union in this fine film, Apocalypse Kiss. Now, how many days have you been shooting, Chris?
This is our first day, Lloyd. I wanted you to be our first. I wanted you to pop our cherry.
For 7 years, I have tried to lead this great nation and our beloved Union to the best of my abilities. But now I fear that I must share our grief as we perceive the last days of our world.
And how were you contacted by Mr. Grillo?
Well, Christian Grillo and I were in jail together. I was his bitch. He spent all his cigarette money on me, and he called me Chino in those days, of course. And, you know, I guess he thought because I have this pimp coat that I might look like a president.
And what do you think about our mill here and our sets?
Well, as a underground filmmaker myself, was extremely impressed with the wonderful efficiency of having basically making your own damn movie studio, which is what you all have here. It's you've got places to build sets. I mean, it's wonderful that you don't have to make company moves, and the building itself has a very good aura about it. I think it's got a good karma. If you
Lloyd himself, you know, he's an icon in his own right. He's been doing this for years and years and years. For those of you who don't know, Lloyd Kaufman owns Troma Films, so Toxic Avenger, Kabuki Man, you name it, it's all there, all the stuff you love. But he's pretty much been kicking the ass of filmmaking and doing it on the cheap, getting his stuff out there, making money and doing what he wants to do, which is what we do. So we look up to him, we try to emulate what he does. And I think we're doing a pretty good job of it.
I've been making my living as an actor for 47 years. So I don't wait tables, I don't tend bar, I never did any of that. I only acted. That's all I did. That's all I do. And now I'm old and I'm retired in the sense that I take every pension that I can get, you know, from every union, but I still work from time to time. I never had the luxury of saying, oh wow, this is a great role, I have to do this. It was always a job. If anybody asked me to do something, I did it because it was a job. It's what I do. And I liked most of them, and I didn't like some of them, but I still did them because I wanted to work.
And it's the type of work you want to do.
I'm not a movie star. I never was at that point where some people, you know, have 10 scripts and they pick what one they want to do. Or maybe they pick none of them. I never.
Okay.
I was never in that place.
Action 2. Action 3.
The guy from the Grand.
Night manager said Wade was seen with 2 girls on the night he was killed. Wade also had multiple stab wounds in the back.
Double homicide. The male was stabbed in the back multiple times. The woman shot in the face at close range. Both victims' teeth were removed. Whoever did this made sure we're going to have one hell of a time IDing the bodies.
It's not him.
The most interesting experience was getting to work with Tom Atkins, because Tom was, you know, the consummate professional and who has had the career that has spanned all of the film and television career that I grew up with. And, you know, just to have a conversation with him and to find out some of the people he has worked with that, you know, I remember, you know, not necessarily that, you know, that I was able to work with them at that time period, but that, you know, find out he worked with people like Robert Ryan and you know, and he was on these episodes of MASH and Kojak, and just this career that spanned every genre and every medium. It was just fascinating to talk to him.
While we were looking for actors, we were just throwing names out of actors, and you know, it was no, you know, that person's going to be too expensive. This person's unavailable. That person lives in Europe. You know, there's all kinds of reasons. So, and I thought about it, and I was like, well, what about? I know it's very stereotypical, but what about Tom Atkins? He's a local actor in Pennsylvania. Tom's from Pittsburgh, so he's 4 hours away.
He was a perfect choice for that role. We were looking to fill that. It was actually one of the last roles that we filled in the movie, which was Captain John Vogel. Atkins has always been well known for playing, you know, this brooding detective guy that's a little bitter at life, and I mean, he was a perfect choice for that.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about just about the character that you're playing? Like, what is there anything that you intend to bring as far as like what this character is?
No, I intend to know the words and not bump into the furniture and say everything loud enough to be heard, because I figure that's the least that the people earn by watching it. There's a guy that's been doing a Gene Kelly all around us. No sign of slowing down. Doesn't look good for us.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were keeping up appearances.
People are watching us, Jerry. They ain't happy. Get your shit together.
Our potent staples, you know, which are Carmela and Tom Dietrich and Bonnie Love. I've worked with these three people probably for like the last, you know, pretty much everything I've ever made. I can't really see doing it another way. These are always people that I know what I can get from them. I know what their limits are, and I know what their strengths are, and you know, they're part of my potent family. So,
you know, it's obvious that they would be a major part of this film.
Still looking for your killer, huh?
My killer.
Tough one.
You know, you think, just a theory, but you think you could help me. I mean, you know, given the circles you travel in.
You know, the cop thing, it really wasn't my bag, detective. I see you still can't tie your own tie.
Perhaps I needed you for more than you ever realized.
Every time someone breathes, we hear it. We need to be absolutely super duper fucking quiet. All right? No breathing. There's a lot of people here. You can breathe when the shot's done. All right? Just like I do. All right, we ready to do this, guys? We got to start shooting something. We're late. I didn't hear any yeses. I guess we're ready to go.
Yes.
We're ready when you tell us we're ready.
All right. Well, we're ready. All right. Roll cameras. We're rolling.
Sound rolling. 69 through 71, take one.
Action.
Suggested that my offer is not of the fairest.
That shit we're trading's worth more than 15 measly credits.
But this shit, this was not yours to begin with, no?
What the fuck are you talking about? We brought you that stuff.
Such a dirty mouth, such a dirty mouth.
Hi, I'm Brian Anthony Wilson, and I play the wizard in Apocalypse Kiss. My character in the story, he's kind of like a seer, fortune teller, and trying to connect the pieces for some of the characters in the play, in the movie.
Right, because you're in the middle of doing a play right now.
I know. Right? Yeah, I'm totally playing. But I mean, I know I'm on a movie set. I think I know anyway. Yeah, no, it's really a great set. I think Christian is amazingly talented, and he does, you know, so much with a small budget, but it doesn't look like a small budget. He knows how to, you know, wrangle it and make it look like $1 million picture. So I take my hat off to him, literally and figuratively. But very strong dialogue. I really, you know, like the way he works. He works fast. You know, he knows what he's doing. He has his shot list set up. So, and I think that's very important to, you know, to be prepared. That's one of the major things about some indie filmmakers that aren't prepared sometimes. But he's, you know, he's right on point.
The wizard's costume, which was incredible to work on, and it was just a great idea, which came to me like by wiring certain parts of it just photographed incredible, even though it's in the dark. But it just has a texture and a feeling to it that is very strange. And it was meant to be.
Hold on a second. The microphone, I can tape it up. Yeah, it's in his shot.
Yeah, I have it here.
Right.
Still many questions with answers you do not possess. Still many questions with answers you do not possess.
You can't be fucking serious.
A missing piece to any puzzle leaves the picture incomplete. Still many questions with answers you do not possess.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
A missing piece to any puzzle leaves the picture incomplete.
My missing pieces are no longer a concern of yours, old man.
My concern, no. But yours, very serious.
Fine, fortune teller. Since you know so much, what questions plague my mind?
The same questions that haunt the hearts of so many in the East Sector.
What are the scenes that we're doing this morning?
Scene 29, external, alley. Yeah, daytime. It's Gladys and Katya having a little lover spat. One of them in sign language and the other in actual dialogue.
What do you need, buddy?
Are they supposed to be following you?
Yeah, they're coming. I need more days to shoot this movie.
John?
Really? What happened? We'll get you more days.
Really? Where do we get the funding for that?
We'll sell blood.
Sell blood. My blood ain't worth that much.
Sound rolling.
Scene 29, take 5.
Action.
We could have stayed at Plex's a couple more days. Made me fuck that fat pig for nothing. That fat fuck didn't have any family. Did you even see any pictures on his wall? We could have stayed at Plex's a couple more days. Made me fuck that fat pig for nothing. That fat fuck didn't have any family. Did you even see any pictures in his house?
I'm not going to say I was surprised because I always knew she had it in her to do such a diverse character. This was definitely the most challenging role she has ever had to take on, and the role was written for her, and the role was originally her idea as far as playing a lesbian and a serial killer. And I really wanted to take it up a bunch of notches. Okay, now you're going to be Russian, and now you're a con artist, and all these crazy things, and the girl-on-girl relationship, and the fact that she's this devious killer, and she's intelligent, and all these things that built to the layer cake of a character that she had to play. And instead of shying away and playing it down, she took the bull by the horns. She prepared for 6 months, and she just really became great at every facet of that character. I watched the scenes when I'm editing, and I'm just like, I don't even know who this person is. That's acting. That's when I don't even recognize my own wife in a film. That's acting, because she just kicked this thing's ass.
So cool. She's the reason that I was in this movie. And she was also so supportive while I was there. Would run lines with me, just made sure that things were cool during that week. But just working with her was just so fun, both as an actor to actor, and as a person. Just the sweetest person.
Who are you?
We're friends of Plex.
My son doesn't have any friends. Where's my son?
Killian had to go out of town for a while. He asked me and my friend here to keep an eye on the place while he was gone.
Out of town where? Why would he not call me first? I am his mother. My Killian would never go anywhere without informing me.
He's getting a sex change.
What? My son is not
gay? Oh, he didn't think he could tell you.
Why would he not tell his own mother?
What the fuck?
I need a Valium. He keeps them special for me in the bathroom.
Wait.
Oh, get off of me.
Tammy was really cool to work with. I was a little nervous at first about me having to do intimate scenes with another woman. I never even kissed somebody on screen before this movie. So my first kiss is with a woman. Yay me! That's an awesome story to tell. But Tammy was really cool. Like she didn't make me feel uncomfortable, and we had a good communication going on. We worked off of each other really well, and she was just as professional about the movie as I was. When we both came in the morning to do our scenes, we both already knew our scenes from top to bottom. And she was really fun to be around with. She wasn't just professional, but she was fun to be around. Like, we could pal around on set a little bit. I really didn't expect that I would like my co-star as much as I did.
Because Katya's deaf, Gladys does most of the talking, and so I think that's another reason sometimes she kind of tries to be hard, because she's kind of the one that has to do all the speaking up, and Katya's a pretty strong presence even though she's deaf anyway, so I think she also has to compete with that, even though she would do anything, Katya.
Your friend don't say a whole lot, does she?
Her name is Kat.
Cat? As in pussy cat?
No, you fucking moron. Like Katya. It's Russian. It means pure. It's a beautiful fucking name.
Hi, I'm DC Douglas, and I play Adrian in the film Apocalypse Kiss. You have to admit, it's kind of cool meeting the guy who's been pursuing me for, how long has it been?
It's been a while.
2 years!
I knew DC via Facebook because he voiced one of my favorite video game characters, Albert Wesker. And DC's pretty cool on Facebook. He talks to all of his fans. He's really approachable. You can ask him anything, and he's pretty cool. So I told him that we were making this movie and that I wanted to try to get him in the lead role as the serial killer, Adrian. And he didn't take it very seriously at first, because I'm sure he gets a lot of messages like that, like, hey, I'm going to get you in this movie. But I convinced Chris that he would be really good in the role, because I've seen his demo reels, I've seen his other work, and I happen to know that the people like me who particularly liked him for his Wesker character, that this would be a really cool role for him, to see him as a serial killer and for him to unleash all of his charisma into this crazy, crazy character.
DC Douglas just knocked it out of the park. You can tell his commitment was definitely there from the beginning as far as everything he was willing to do.
I really didn't have to go out of my way to unhinge him, and he completely went off the rails, and I just had to, not just deliver the lines, but I had to impress upon him that this is it, it's over, you're done, and you really don't get anything for it.
Working with DC, he just brought such an energy level to the set. He was always almost like a kid in a candy store. High energy, always willing to do something, great ideas, kept the day moving fast, and some of the days we had were pretty long days.
They come and they pick me up. If you work on location, usually it's they send a car or something, and it's whatever. Well, this is low budget indie filmmaking, so they're going to come pick me up. So I'm expecting I'm going to hop in a Honda or a Prius or something, and instead they come by as though they're going to kidnap me, because they're in a white windowless van. It appeared, I guess it had windows, but it felt windowless. They come by and they slide the door open and they're like, come in. And of course you get in, and they've changed out the seats to these, like, I don't know, the Barca lounges or something. They're very comfortable seats, but you're caged. You're in a cage. There's like bars on the windows and in front of them, so I can't get to them. I was in a cage. And then they drive me the 30-minute drive or whatever it is to the location. And it was an interesting way to meet them, I will say. I'm very happy that they did not kill me.
No! No! What are you doing? Why are you doing? No, this is not how it goes! This is not what I planned! Service! Transmit video journals to Rogue News!
Please confirm upload date.
Now! Fuck you, Jerry! They're gonna know my name!
Let's find out the truth of what happened behind the scenes of Apocalypse Kiss.
There's a photo of myself and my husband, Tom Dietrich,
where the two of us are just grinning from ear to ear. We had walked on set, and it was great, and we kind of looked around, and there was, you know, the whole Trader's Alley and all the different items on set, and then somebody turned on the lights. And I think both of our mouths just fell open. It was unbelievable that with a low-budget film, which this film was, that they were able to create this outdoor scene with really very little, but just complete imagination and ingenuity and just know-how.
I knew that Trader's Alley would be one of the most important locations, so we looked at our options. And we had originally planned to film it outside. And because of the number of characters that were involved in the scene, leads, Tom Dietrich, Carmela Hazlett, Tammy Jean, DC Douglas, and people that we weren't going to have on set at the same time, another challenge of low-budget filmmaking. We had to have a location that we had absolute control over. And instead of that exterior location, we eventually moved that into a mill that we had found that's over 100 years old, that we essentially turned into our studio. When you watch this behind the scenes, you'll see a space station set that we built, Trader's Alley, Adrian's apartment. All of these locations are the same place, just dressed in different rooms of this mill to create the visuals that you see. I started with Chris's first directorial film, which was The Wish, and we have been riding through ever since. This, I believe, is technically my 5th film with Christian, and it has been a journey, a growing journey every time, and has progressed not just thematically, but technically.
Camera not make a difference. It is what's in here. It is director's vision. I could shoot, you know, with some piece of shit from CVS. But if the vision is no good, there is no story. Movie is shit.
I loved the talent that I worked with, the amazing crew. I'd had so much fun working with this group of people. They're professional, they're exciting. You knew being on set that you were part of something amazing.
I was amazed that this was such a low budget and such an incredible experience as far as, number one, what I was capable of doing in a short amount of time, and also the director, who was probably the most knowledgeable of a lot of directors I've ever worked with, and that's coming from somebody who worked a lot in Hollywood with directors in LA. And this guy is remarkable with what he's able to do.
Yeah, this film was a total blast to work on. The entire week that I was there, it was I had a great experience. And I have to credit Christian Jude Grillo, the writer, director, producer, editor, scorer, the guy who did, you know, pretty much, it's his baby. But he also set the tone on set. He doesn't fly off the handle. He knows what he wants. I mean, he knows what he wants. But at the same time, and this is one of the fears when you've not worked with somebody before, especially it's low budget, it's all their money. You know, they want their dream to come true and they want it just as it is. Yet he's completely open to input from other people, and if it works, it's like it's a yay or nay. Just the way that his process was wonderful, and I would love to do it again.
I can personally say from experience that Christian did a lot of research before he did this movie. Everything from lighting to what lenses to use to what camera to use. He would be in his studio every night researching these things to make sure that he can make the best product possible. And it really shows in the movie. The movie just looks incredible. Christian expanded his imagination a lot with this. Like, he didn't let a low budget stop him from doing what he wanted to do. He helped build these elaborate sets. He designed these sets. I think it's a sign of better things to come, because he definitely outdid himself with this one, and he keeps getting better every single time he does it.
It was truly a fantastic experience. The stuff I've learned from being on the set is stuff that I'll carry with me, you know, forever. Anywhere I go, if I ever get to ever hopefully get to work on another set with Mr. Grillo, you know, I won't be the noob anymore, and you know, it'll be able to transition right from what I did from the last movie into the next project. So it's a great experience.
I just really wanted to explore basically the kind of movies that I always loved. I loved movies like Hardware, Blade Runner, you know, growing up watching Star Wars. I just really wanted to be able to create a movie like that, and I think one thing that holds people back at our budget level, I mean, when we're independent, we're really independent. We're making movies for such a small amount of money. So we tend to shy away from making any kind of movie that has, you know, enormous amounts of set design and costuming and just a whole look. You know, where you shoot, the way you shoot, it's got to be different when you're creating a different world that doesn't exist. That enticed and inspired me to do Apocalypse Kiss. I really wanted to meet that challenge and have, you know, that sort of world in my film. And I think we really kicked its ass.
What people think about independent film is that they can just get a camera and a bunch of their friends and make a movie and then they're going to be rich. And that's not the way it is. What you really have to be prepared for is a hard road. It's ultra competitive out there. It doesn't matter if you pulled off a movie for under $1 million that looks fantastic. You are competing with every other film that exists. Our movie exists in a space where you can see it on Redbox. It's directly next to a $100 million blockbuster. And people will watch that film and expect the same level of professionalism and entertainment that you get out of that $100 million blockbuster. So, to independent filmmakers, what I would tell them is, it's not the old days anymore, where you think, I'll make a super low budget film for $5,000, my next film will be 20 grand, and I'll keep working my way up until eventually I'm in Hollywood. It's not that situation anymore. You will be forced to make your movies cheaper, make them better, get better actors, hire named actors. It's not as direct of a path as it used to be. If you look at the films that continuously get theatrical play, they're from the same directing, producing teams. Blair Witch is 1999, and we were promised a revolution where we could get our films out to the audiences. And you can get your film out to audiences, but not for any money.
The state of Hollywood is in reevaluation. I think they're beginning to realize the way they've been doing it isn't the way it's going to be done anymore. It's got to change. I mean, where you have to bring people in with 3D and special effects, and you know, there's not much in the way of a story or just interest in general. I think it's to be rethought.
I believe that we are going to see the death of the multi-$100 million movie, the mega, you know, $500 million Avatar movies just aren't going to be made. They're going to plateau, and then it's going to get back to a basic thing. Film is a great medium, but it's an expensive medium, and it always has been. If people knew the equipment we used to make Apocalypse Kiss and how much the actual equipment really cost when it all came down to it, you would see a lot more people talking about why does a movie like Avatar cost $500 million.
It's pretty obvious that Hollywood's in trouble right now. When you're making movies for $350 million, and your box office return $30 million, obviously that's a business that's going to fail. It's really cool being the underdog, in 2013, where we're at right now, and making a movie because we have the technology to do so for, basically what their driver would make to drive people back and forth or something. We're doing it on a drop in the bucket of what a Hollywood film is being made for. And the fact that, one of our films can be sitting there in a kiosk on Redbox right next to that $300 million movie, that's fucking awesome to me, because it shows that creativity is always going to outweigh a budget. I feel that a lot of films in Hollywood are just depending on name star recognition and great effects, but they're forgetting the fact that people do need to be entertained, and when you take all the flash away, sometimes things are still boring.
It was like the day you realized that we're making a movie, and this is what we do. This is what we live for. We talk about it. We thought about it when we were teenagers. We grew up wanting to do it. And then one day you're over 30 and you're like, you know what? I'm a fucking filmmaker. This is what we do. The whole project was just a great synergy. It had a lot of great talented people, a lot of people from our local area, and meeting Christian and getting to work with somebody of a like mind was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because you need that core group of people in order to do this, and that's what we have.